Alright guys, welcome to my channel guys. So I don't know why, but this it's not good as Nigerians, alright? As northern youth wish that it was Tinubu that actually dies. You saw the celebration in the previous video before this particular video, and I like you guys to pay attention to everything that is going to happen here, and you will see that almost everyone that had the opportunity to send a message to the internet space was speaking about the fake corp of the person they said is Buhari. But I like you guys to pay attention to everything that happened in this particular video, and please subscribe.
Yeah, Abacha is one of the greatest leaders that is highly demonized in this country. Even in his death, Abacha is highly demonized in this country. But I'll keep telling people that Abacha is not what people are trying to paint him to be. I will challenge anybody to mention any democratic leader we have had in the dispensation that his economic impact can be compared to that of Abacha. But Buhari has spoiled Nigeria, totally destroyed Nigeria. A man that waged war against Nigerians on October 2020. A man that borrowed billions of naira for his friends and his cabinet to loot and steal. Is the one people are saying we should not speak ill about the death. Buhari has spoiled Nigeria. Do you know how many lives that lost in the regime of Buhari? Buhari totally destroyed the economy of Nigeria, but it's the one people are saying we should not talk ill about the death. But Abacha that improved our foreign reserve from millions to 9 something billion is the one they are demonizing up to now. A man that reduced inflation from 50-something% to 8 something% is the man they are demonizing up to now. But I will tell you, Abacha is not what people are trying to paint him to be. It is high time Nigerians should know that Abacha is not what people are painting him to be. All people are calling him democratic agitators. Mention one democratic agitator that agitated against Abacha that is called a criminal now. All of them are criminals. They were not agitating against Abacha not because they love democracy. They were agitating against Abacha because they were looking for opportunity at which they can steal and loot this country. And that's what all of them are doing. Mention one democratic leader that agitated against Abacha that is not a criminal now. And there is none of them that we have had in dispensation that the economic impact can be compared to that of Abacha. Yes, Abacha might have his flaws, but if they can demonize Abacha, why can't we demonize the Buhari? Buhari, a man that waged war against Nigerian youth on October 2020 because they are agitating for NSAS, police brutality. A man that destroyed our economy. A man that went to borrow billions of dollars for his friends and family, for his cabinet to loot. You can see all the criminal praising him now, chanting praise, demonizing the people that are trying to say the truth about Buhari. When Yaradua died, the whole country was mourning. If you are doing the right thing, you don't need to beg people to mourn. When Yaradua died, the whole country was mourning. Up to now, people still miss Yaradua. But look at Buhari. People are celebrating, even in the north, people are celebrating his death because he's a clown. It is time for us to correct our leadership problem. And INEC is the Lucifer of Nigeria. INEC.
Alleged reports, flying on social media that the ECOWAS president and whether it's a clone or a fake Buhari, another Buhari arrested in Nigeria, and it's a big confusion, right now as regards Buhari, death. A lot of people have come out and said, what is Tinubu's what is Buhari's lineage or linkage with Niger Republic? We know when he was president, he built a railway to Niger Republic.
He actually said it while he was still president of Nigeria, that immediately he leave position of power, that he's going to relocate to Nigeria. And that was why we saw to an extent he was busy buying different cars, building houses in there, to an extent he built a personal mansion there. But to our surprise, and we never had here any time in the history that when he moved to Daura, either he split in and split out again. But the surprising thing is that, immediately, within a short space of time, we saw Tinubu handing over to the new ECOWAS leader, chairman, president, no matter how you call it, for Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio. So, and
was he happy when he handed over?
We don't know whether he was happy because the Western powers insisted that Bola Tinubu has not been able to deliver what they asked him to do. Especially, and that's why Macron ran away from him. Bola Tinubu cannot have access to Macron again. And we know what is happening now. The Trump is already fighting him. with a lot of things now. I'm meaning that Tinubu is totally disorganized, and that is why we went hidden for a few days. But the beauty is that when Buhari autopsy and there is undergoing crisis in London government clinic, let me put it that way, we are hearing that another Buhari has been arrested in Niger Republic under this very president of ECOWAS from Sierra Leone, whom Tinubu actually handed over to, who is Julius Maada Bio. Well, what to say us what is actually going on, and from what we're hearing, it's like the guy is on his way, to Nigeria before he was, intelligence spread and the ECOWAS standby force intelligence unit. I don't know how they operate, but from there he got apprehended. And because if you look at him, it looks like there's nothing different, and that is why this woman has been crying that he doesn't know where my husband is. I'm not sure. I cannot continue like this. And I already said that with time, we're going to unveil, we're going to tell Nigerians the truth where his husband is. It's possible that the man is talking about, a lot of things, because we have one degree, we have one meaning. All of them, they say that for Sudan. But what we are hearing now, that the one that came into the country, is the one they took to London. But the real one just said that I am relocating to Niger. Is the one now that got arrested. That's the problem we are having now, currently now. So there's controversy over, this Buhari death. We don't show people that, these guys can do anything for power. The Fulani are desperate. Because without that, it's going to expose a lot of things concerning the Fulani presence in Nigeria. The Fulani, Nigeria have rejected anything that has to do with Fulani. And remember that Nigeria now is a Sahel nation. Powered by the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. And now that Nigeria cannot be able to run over whatever happened in ECOWAS, we are seeing the secret now in Nigeria. That the man that have left Aso Rock in 2023 is in Niger Republic and has been arrested. And from what we are hearing now, later believe that is true, it's not, maybe it's a mistake, or even it's not a mistake, or it's being reported to be false, or whatever. But I can tell you, the ECOWAS standby force, who identified him, maybe possibly they have been training him based on report, investigation, that this man, they have built a lot of Buhari more than 3 times. Like this one, after this one, will come again and they play this one. After this one, will come again and they play this one. This happened in the United States of America under a president called Stallone, if I can remember. About how many years ago or thereabout, and when we saw it, it's real. So I don't know why Aisha Buhari keep insisting that the man who is saying that they stop her from having access to, because of whatever has played out, is not my husband.
Not the husband.
Yes.
A lot of people said, do you not think they were divorced? But although they are public figures, but do you not think they were divorced during, when Aisha was in Dubai for close to 2-3 years? But Buhari was all alone then. And so even at one time, the nephew of Buhari in Douala and Aisha had to run from Asoro because there was a big, issue there in Asoro. So do you possibly think that they were divorced? Maybe that's why she could not, or that's why they were not together.
It's a very serious thing, and it has attracted the international community. And I can tell you that Joe Biden said it very clearly that Buhari is actually dead 6 years ago, as being reported in that platform. So Aisha Buhari, I also sensed something, and for her not to be involved in what was building as at that time, he disappeared to Dubai. So it was that disappearance that they factored anything, but so many factors inside. But let me tell you something, women does not have that presence when it comes to religion, Islamic religion. They don't have that presence. So whatever they present to them is the one he has come and fought the man that was presented to. The day Buhari left Abuja and was taken out by Daula and the rest of them. That was the last time he saw the husband. And it was the last time. Then they go the first one, after like the end of 4 years of Buhari's tenure, they now brought this man, Jibril from Sudan, who looked very handsome and a man of many parts. People are talking about, who has memory loss, who can barely recognize anything. He doesn't know the name of his ministers. He doesn't know the name of his aides. But he's being briefed on daily basis what we do. And remember, the family too of Jibril in Sudan has been working tirelessly to make sure that they do not leave any stone unturned. They have to understand and be able to play along for the deal, for that very particular deal to work until Mazin Namdekanu became a heavy threat to them and began exposing the atrocities surrounding the impostor as alleged in Nigeria that time as president. That was when the global Arabic manhunt for Mazin Namdekanu began until that criminality was done in Kenya. But now, how would they justify that? Well, whether they are going to present the one that was reported to have been arrested in Niger Republic to Aisha to see whether he is the one that actually got married to him. So that's the whole thing. So you know that this one will look similar. I remember that the one that was in Asu Rock, Abdinishio, has always have a soft spot with Niger. We always talk about Niger, supplying them. Not knowing that another one has come to replace the one that we thought was heading to Daura. You see, and the real one now, the one that we are looking at, another prototype has been tweaked in. So if the US government can confirm that this man is not in existence again, and then what do you expect? The sea alone and the ECOWAS standby force and other is making sure that maybe they're able to get more information, because this is a big deceit to the world. And if the world continues to keep silent on the issue that has to do with clone individuals, because of political interest or whatever, or because of an agenda, which you feel that that's the only way it can be rooted in Nigeria. Well, I think to an extent, it's an obstacle to them now, the entire Fulani in Nigeria. And if case not taken, that will be the beginning of Fulani exit, final exit. You see, now they are not having any beautiful romance with the Niger Republic. The Sahel nations have been attacked by the jihadists and all of them. So, and that was why they said this man, that they pick another one, they can never leave him. So I don't know, Tinubu now, everybody is in a state of, confusion. What is actually going on? You can see how the whole thing works. How can the entire head of state and presidency be in one hospital in London? Daura is there, Malami, Abu Sabi is there. And you can remember also that the same Abu Sabi was being reported to have been given his helicopter, to drop the ammunition and food for Boko Haram inside forest, some forest, and will have it. So maybe that was where the whole thing was seen, and they started to carry out their deal. But unfortunately, the one that we are hearing that it has been picked in Niger Republic might likely expose them, and that's what we are hearing is happening now, and why Feli Adesina Malami is not on the radar. These people are supposed to be on the radar, because I can remember at any point in time, Femi Adesina and Malami both said about how they were able to carry criminality, among the nations of the Commonwealth, bridging gaps, destroying friendship, invasions, just because they want a Fulani agenda, because they want Nigeria to be Islamized. And unfortunately, to an extent, there has been resistance, continuous resistance, continuous roadblock to that effect. And that is why the United States of America is saying at this point that now they will not be able to find anything, and it looks as if everything is pointing that actually that Muslim American need to be released for them to find out where and how this man was cloned, buried in a shadow grave in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know whether the ability, the capacity of the locals to talk about guilt or no guilt. But let me first of all set the records straight. I delivered my sermon to my congregation in our cathedral. So the hearers or the bearers of the message are primarily the good people of the Diocese of Sokoto. And of course, I'm not unaware of the state of mind of my two friends, Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu, when it comes to talking about Bishop Kuka. They seem to suspend reason and go into overdrive. Unless, of course, the Garba Shehu has plans to convert to Christianity, or he's a closet Christian or an anonymous Christian. I appreciate the fact that when it comes to talking, he has not quoted the Holy Quran, and all he does is end up with some convoluted interpretations of the Bible that are embarrassing in their context. And I'm surprised that Femi Adesina, who I believe is a reverend of sorts in the Foursquare Gospel Church, I'm surprised that he's unable to help his friend put the facts together. But let me simply say that I have made an offer to them, and I still make the offer, that they can choose the venue and choose the time, and just let me know. I would like to sit down with the three of them, beginning with their honorable minister, and both of them. Let us sit down together and talk about Nigeria. I'm ready. I will pay my way. Let them choose the. I still repeat that offer to them. Dr. Abati, you have been a spokesman for the president, and I'm sure you know better than anybody else. In your time, spokesman, you are a writer of the finest quality. But I do not remember that I read messages written by you. The job of a spokesman, which you did extremely well, was to highlight, elaborate, debate, and put to the public government policies and what government intends to do. And they use it as an opportunity to clarify public policy as it affects governance and people. Photocopying paper and simply typing away text. They have been involved in all kinds of writing of the poorest quality, never talking to the issue. So the first thing is to show you their inefficiency. It is that they are used to writing statements as opposed to talking to Nigerians about policy. And all that this tells you is that 99.9% of the things they write are simply second-guessing what the president's mind is. They have no contact with the president. They have no contact with government policy. And all they are doing is writing on behalf of the president. There's nowhere in the world where a job of this nature is being done and has been done so poorly. Let me, if you may please indulge me, because I need to explain to you and to Nigerians where I am coming from. Let me even cut it by talking about the last 20 years. Dr. Abati, we are not strangers to one another. We knew where we were in 1999 before democracy, and you've made references to some of those issues. But also, let's even start from 1999, since this country returned to democracy. I need to state where I'm coming from, so people can understand by context why I feel the way I feel. The first thing to say is, I have served in 3 successive or even 4 presidents since 1999. I served in the Kuta panel. I served as a member of the Electoral Reform Committee. I was appointed Secretary of the Political Reform Conference. I spent about 7 years, beginning from Obasanjo, right through to this government, going between Abuja, Kaduna, and Ogoniland to reconcile the people of Ogoniland with Shell. My book will be out before the year runs out. So I'm saying, therefore, and I was also crucial to the signing of the second peace accord between General Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan. And if you excuse me, Dr. Abati, I have never told you this, we have not spoken about it, but you played a very critical role that Nigerians don't know, and I'm sure you probably don't even remember. Because when it came to the signing of that accord, you were the one person at the time that President Jonathan then, we had planned a meeting with President Jonathan. The meeting didn't happen because General Buhari, John Oyegun, and all the team had all moved to Lagos because Asiwaju Tinubu was celebrating his birthday. And given his stature in the APC, his birthday was more or less like a public holiday for the APC. So General Buhari couldn't be at the meeting because the peace committee decided that we wanted the two of them to sit down based on the things we had heard and we were hearing. You remember General Buhari's famous statement about the elections and the outcome when he made the famous statement about of the tensions that existed in the country at that time. I am humbled by the fact that I was critical and central to getting, led by General Abdul Salam, to getting both men to sign the peace accord, which, as you know, the point I want to make is in the morning of that day, just 2 days to the election, when General Buhari had agreed, finally, we were able to track him down, he had agreed that he would meet with us at 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't know how to reach President Jonathan because President Jonathan had told us he was flying to Asaba at 9 o'clock that morning. If you remember, I called you, I was able to reach you on the phone, and I said, look, we have a text of the peace accord that we want President Jonathan to please sign. Can you help take the text to him? I asked you, do you have your iPad with you? You said yes. I sent you the mail. You took to President Jonathan. He signed it. I was able